Hey everybody, it's Katie. I am 31 weeks today and things are good. Without any further ado, let me just tell you that our ultrasound results were generally good. I so appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers and good intentions. I really feel like that kind of positive energy brings about good things, and I so appreciate it. So thank you guys. So the baby is measuring small, small for my dates, but nothing alarming. Everything is growing proportionally, and the fluid level was good. That was the fluid level we were most kind of worried about, because it seemed like the biggest kind of deal breaker with having to think about being on bed rest or inducing early or something like that. So I'm so happy that everything is good there, and now I'm just going to continue enjoying my otherwise totally normal, healthy pregnancy. The only thing at the ultrasound they were not able to measure was my cervix. That's normally part of one of the things that they look at and just make sure that it's still closed and thick and all that stuff at this point. But baby is head down now, and so they couldn't even see my cervix. I did feel like, I think it was maybe 2 days before the ultrasound, that the baby had turned. It had been transverse, which was sort of uncomfortable for me, like head on one side of my rib cage and feet kicking out the other side for as long as I could really feel that. But I've been doing this special yoga move, spending a lot of time on my hands and knees, which is supposed to help turn babies, and also this move that's just like a variation on that, where you're on your hands and knees, but then you bring your head and your shoulders as close as you can to the ground. So it's almost like chest to the ground, but you're still on your knees, so your hips are still up. And I have been just spending time in that position for probably at least a month now. Every night when I'm reading or looking at my phone or something, I'll be like in that position on the floor. I'm really kind of focusing on trying to get the baby in the best possible position, because I had long back labor with Alice and I'm trying to avoid that. Anyway, I saw my home birth midwife on Wednesday, and she said that at this point the baby could still move out of the head down position, but it's pretty unlikely because their heads are so heavy, and it's just difficult with gravity for them to physically do that. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. So generally this, having this ultrasound and having all the results come back is just a huge source of peace of mind. The only sort of drawback to having it done is that, previously we had only planned on having our anatomy scan. That's all we had, and the report from the anatomy scan did not say the sex of the baby. However, in this growth ultrasound that they did put that into the report. They told us they were going to, that they had to, and it's not something I wanted, just because I just don't want anybody along the way to kind of slip up and tell us. Even just knowing now that my midwives are going to know, and the medical assistant that checks us in at my other midwife's office, is going to know. I'm just really afraid that somebody is going to slip up and tell me something that I really want that finding out the sex of the baby to be like this special family moment at the time. Something that we all experience together, and not something, just because somebody doesn't know that we don't want to know or whatever. So I think I'm just going to be a little bit paranoid about that, and reading a little bit into the pronouns. Already I was reading into the pronouns that my midwife is using during the appointment, thinking what does that mean, And she says, oh, I just switch pronouns all the time, but I don't know. So I think because of that, already my thoughts on what this baby are probably already a little bit swayed. That'll just be my own little hang up. So the other positive thing to come out of my appointment with my home birth midwife this week was that she was finally able to get Alice's neonatal records from the hospital. It's something that I had been trying to request. It was just one of those things I never got to. We had discharge instructions, when we left the hospital with her from the NICU, but I just always wanted to go back and see some of the nursing notes and just a little bit more information, some of her labs that we never saw when we were there. My midwife was able to get some of that stuff. And I'll talk more about this later, I think, but there was some encouraging kind of information in there about the source of Alice's illness and why she had to stay in the NICU and all that stuff. It's just really good to have them. At 31 weeks, I am starting to get into the time in which I'm going to be really trying to focus on optimal health and just getting my whole body as healthy as possible, and also trying to clear my system of group B strep if that is something I'm still carrying. I tested positive with Alice's pregnancy, and that has been a big goal for me with this pregnancy, is to just test negative and have one less thing to worry about and one less thing to potentially, change our birth plan at the last minute or whatever. So for that, I'm going to be doing herbal vaginal suppositories starting in 2 weeks, and I'll talk more about that when I start that. The other thing I'm doing sort of on my own is a very gentle colon cleanse. It's not something I've ever done before, but I got this. It's called Colosan. I will link to it. I got it from the raw food store that my friends have. This is very, very gentle. Like I said, it's considered safe for pregnancy. It's basically just a high dose of magnesium, and you just drink the magnesium powder in water, and then follow with lemon water, which just generally has like a just a cleansing effect. So this week I have been doing it for the sort of initial cleanse, like twice a day for a week, and then after that I'm just going to drink it once a week to kind of maintain that level of colon health. I just feel like for group B strep, last time they did both a vaginal and a rectal swab, so I kind of want to be attending to that end of it. Like, what if I do the suppositories and stuff, and I don't have any group B strep in my vagina, but then I have it in my rectum, so that makes me positive, and I still need, they still recommend antibiotics and whatever. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I have still been going around my regular routine and going to work and running errands and everything, so I really like that this has not had me like racing to the bathroom or anything. It's been very, very manageable. Like I said, very gentle. I know magnesium does block calcium absorption, so I'm just careful to take this earlier in the day because I take my prenatal at night, so that I'm able to absorb the calcium sort of overnight, and I don't get out of whack with that. So you can probably tell my lighting is really bad today. It's actually a rainy day, which is so awesome. I feel like any rainy or cooler day at this point is like just a special gift personally, all for me, from the universe. I have hit the point in the pregnancy where just hormonally I am always super duper hot. My office is really poorly like climate controlled or whatever. The swamp cooler really doesn't work well. It's just super old building, and it's still very hot outside most days, and it's just everybody else. I'm at that point where everyone else in the room is comfortable, and I'm usually the one that's cold in a comfortable room, and now I'm just like on fire. It's very hard to feel comfortable in any clothes. It's just, I'm very hot all the time. So rainy days like this, where it's a little bit cooler, are so welcome, just as a break for me. And also because one of my subscribers that I recently have been getting to know a little bit better, Lisa, she's just sent me a bunch of maternity / nursing clothes that are for cooler weather. I'm wearing one right now. It is so nice to have something new in my repertoire. And I really don't have nursing friendly clothes made for, for cooler weather, because Alice was a summer baby. So I so appreciate her sending this stuff all the way from the UK. It is totally all like my style and very comfortable and nice. And like I said, it's just so nice to be able to wear something different. I feel like I wear the same 3 dresses and tank tops every single day because I do. Going along with that, having a few more clothes to work with is really helpful, because I've noticed I'm also at the point where like my belly is big and I've become more of a slob. Like, it's really hard for me to get through a meal without realizing I've spilled something on myself, or to cook and realize, that I've splattered things all over myself, and that's not normally how I am. I'm just at that point where my belly is just getting in the way, so it's really nice to have a few more outfits to kind of rotate in. I've been on a big nesting kick. Basically last weekend, Mike and I both just tackled house projects, things that we've been meaning to do for a long time. I have already started stocking my freezer. I know it's a little bit early to do that, but generally things will freeze for a good 3 months. So I've started stashing away, halves of meals that I'm making, and just really kind of feeling like this is a good time to do that. I've had more energy in general, and I'm just really able to like kind of channel that into organizing and cooking. I've had just a couple of days where I've pushed a little too far. I mowed the lawn a few days ago, and you know, by the end of the day, my feet were like really aching and stuff. Part of it is just that we have wood floors, and I always just go barefoot. And I never remember to just wear flip-flops. I have like cushy flip-flops that would help so much. So I'm just trying to toe that line of using the energy while I have it, without, you know, without going overboard. Along those lines, because I've been on such a cooking, baking rampage, I will say the best thing about this week is that I achieved one goal that I had set for before the second baby arrives, and that was to make cinnamon rolls from scratch. Sort of a silly thing, but something I had never done before. I don't, you know, spend a lot of time generally making like yeast dough and just taking the time to do something like that. But this past Sunday, Alice was hanging out with Mike, everybody was happy, and I got to just spend a few hours making these cinnamon rolls. They were delicious, of course, and then I froze half of them so I have something to look forward to. And I was just really happy that, you know, that was just like just something for myself that I wanted to do while I have the time, because I can't imagine I'm going to be baking anything elaborate for like a good probably 9 months from now at least, you know, when we get into some sort of normal groove again. So I'll share the recipe if anybody's interested, because they were excellent. I will do just a really quick belly shot. I like to only do them on even numbered weeks, but since the baby has changed position now, I'm curious to see if anyone thinks I am carrying differently. I really feel about the same, maybe a little bit bigger, but see if I can do that here. So this is 31 weeks. One song? Something funny about this pregnancy is I still don't have the linea nigra, the line that I had. I need to go back and find out when I got that with Alice's pregnancy, but I thought that I had it by now at least, and I don't. So maybe that's one of the things that you don't get with every pregnancy. I don't know. Well, let me know what your experiences have been. So that's everything. Thank you again. I just can't say thank you enough for sticking with us through the past stressful week, and I just return all of the well wishes back to you.